Hello one and all, welcome to Seen Through Glass, welcome to Spain. I'm here to test drive the brand new Range Rover Sport. Now, long-term viewers of this channel may remember that over the years, my dad's owned like 4 or 5 Range Rover Sports ever since it first launched back in the mid-2000s. It means I've spent a lot of time around sports, so I am super intrigued and excited to see what this latest version is all about. I've got to be honest, I didn't sleep that well last night. You might be able to hear it in my croaky voice. Maybe it's because I was excited for today's test drive, but whatever the reason, meant waking up this morning was a bit of a struggle. I needed my coffee. I didn't realise I needed to experience the new Range Rover Sport in electric mode. That's the P510e, the top-of-the-range plug-in hybrid variant of the new Sport. In the centre console, there's a little button marked EV. If you hit it, it means that you'll only use electric power for up to 70 miles. That's a huge range in my mind. And it was delightful this morning, creeping out of Madrid whilst the city was asleep and I was still half asleep, just in silence and in luxury. And this car offers a whole load of luxury. We're really going to get into that today. But now I'm out here in the middle of nowhere, Spain, up a dirt track, ready to start my video, I think. I've come up a dirt track because, well, this car is super capable off-road. I don't think many Range Rover Sport customers take their cars off-road. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe you do it the point-to-point or the Polo. But yeah, we found out yesterday that this thing really can tackle all sort of terrains. And this is a pretty basic dusty road, so I knew coming up here would be safe. Just kind of looks cool, doesn't it? It looks mega. And actually, that's where we should really kick things off with the looks, because as I mentioned at the start, I've got a real kind of connection to Range Rover Sport because of my dad. I've spent so much time around them over the years. So when this new one launched, it took me a while to get used to the new looks. Let me show you what I mean. So head on, I don't think this car looks massively different to the previous generation. It's immediately recognisable as a Range Rover product and even as a Range Rover Sport. I can kind of see elements of Velar in there and elements of new Range Rover, but yeah, as I say, I look at it, I go, yeah, that's a Sport. Just a little bit sleeker, maybe even a bit boxier, but yeah, if this came up behind you on the motorway, I think you'd go, oh, there's a Sport. You might not know which generation it was. As we move over to the side, you start to figure out that this is actually a very different looking car. It's sort of sleeker, it's subtler. The previous generation Sport, definitely like SVR guys towards the end of that kind of production, the car was really chunky, it was beefy, it had a lot of presence. This is a lot more elegant, I think, because they've kind of reduced some of those lines. I mean, look down the side there, it's kind of almost flat. It just means the car looks, yeah, really, I'm going to say, sexy. Oh, look at me. But yeah, very, very nice, I think. But we have to come around the back because this is the part that, well, maybe is the most controversial and I struggle with the most. It's this rear end design. Very different to all prior generations of the Sport and actually from other Range Rovers currently available. I have to say, I have gotten used to it, and seeing these cars on the road out here in Spain does look pretty good, especially when you get those rear tail lights on. So dusk, dawn, night, looks mega. So I think with all things, when there's change, it just takes a little bit of time to get used to that change. So yeah, I think, well, let me know what you think in the comments, but I have to say this is a good looking car in my opinion, but the piece de la resistance, the thing that I love the most, is what they've done to the interior. For me, this is spectacular, and this has changed Range Rover Sport as a product in my mind. I think there's so much to talk about in here that we'll wait and get into it a little bit later in the video. For now, we need to crack on because it's a big day. I've started early because I want to do lots of miles in this thing. I feel like most people will use their Range Rover Sport, well, as an everyday car, but also for big journeys, maybe taking the family up to Scotland or into Europe on a holiday. So I'm going to try and do 500 miles today before I have to hand this car back to Range Rover and fly back to the UK. We've made our way sort of, I guess, 20, let's actually, no, I need to start that up. We've done 58 kilometres so far in pure electric mode. we're approaching sort of, 25% charge remaining. So I'm going to now put us back into hybrid mode. There we go. Power things up and hit the road. Well, it's about 150 kilometres later, and having said earlier that I don't imagine many Range Rover Sport owners will take this car off-road, we spent pretty much the entire day going off-road. Okay, not dramatically, but following all these super intriguing little kind of paths that lead off into the Spanish wilderness. And right now, we've headed up quite a long path to an absolutely beautiful and picturesque church. I saw this little signpost pointing up a dirt track and I thought, that looks intriguing, and I'm so glad I came here. Now I keep saying we because today Archie Hamilton's with me. He's also been out here in Spain with Range Rover filming the new Sport. That's because he actually ordered one and one is coming. He's currently sitting in the car because he's terrified. He is convinced we're about to be murdered.
I'm not getting out.
Do you want to just mate, it's beautiful here.
Honestly, I hate sightseeing and stuff, and this is actually beyond scary.
Why is it scary? It's incredible. Look, it's so quiet.
It's a nice place. It is a nice place, but like, what happens if like a bear comes out or something?
I don't think it's a bear.
Well, okay, you saw a lion. You saw some lion.
I didn't realise you'd realised that I'd seen it.
No, but it's very nice, but I'm safe in here. This is all...
Well, you're missing out.
What am I missing out on? I can see
this.
But I can see it. I appreciate what I see with nature, but I also am very comfortable in here.
Well, I can understand it's comfortable because it is super luxurious in there, and I said we're going to do some tours of the interior. That will come up in a second. First of all, let's come and check this place out. Okay, sightseeing paused, moody teenager still in the back. I thought I would finally show you this incredible interior because for me, it's much more of a luxury product. Yes, it still has great sporting credentials. We're going to get on some twisty roads and have some fun with it very shortly, but it's just nuts. It's such a nice place to be. As I already said, such a nice place to spend time. So let's talk about firstly this layout. Oh, there you go, Archie. Someone's just turned up in a Citroen Berlingo.
He will kill you.
Is he stopping? Oh yeah, he's stopping. Well, we'll have a chat to him in a bit. But yeah, this sort of new layout with this huge screen, which, you know, okay, we've seen before in big Range Rover and things like that, but it's my first time actually playing around with it, and it's amazing. Now, have I set this up correctly? Oh no, I need to connect my phone because Spotify on this screen is mind-boggling. It's like using Spotify on your desktop computer, better than any kind of Apple CarPlay or Android integration I've ever seen. But as you can see, it's just super easy to use, pretty quick. We've got all the sort of cameras that you've seen on things like Defender and stuff like that. Let me power on because to really display this thing, I need to show it in its full way. So there we go, all our off-roading and on-roading cameras, which are super easy to use and help to maneuver the car around. We've been using the inbuilt sat-nav today, which as you can see shows that we're really in the middle of nowhere. Oh look, more people are turning up. Okay, I hope they're not going to be that cross with us, but friends for you, Archie.
Mate, I don't want to be here.
Why don't you want to be here? What? We're okay.
Wait, he's going to drive in your car?
Are you okay? They're not very smiley.
No.
Does he want to get past us?
He wants to get past.
Oh, he's a pro.
That's fairly petrifying.
Okay. Where's he going? Is he just going to park next to us? No, he's gone.
There we go.
Okay. Cool. carrying on. So this is fantastic, as is the digital sort of cockpit. The dials obviously behind the steering wheel, super nice, intuitive to use. And then this is very simplistic. It's laid out in a beautiful way. All the buttons, I like having actual buttons, not all touch screen, so you've still got big old dials for the air conditioning and things like that. New steering wheel, fantastic. And then everything you touch just has a real quality feel to it. The leathers, the finish, it genuinely, as I say, takes this car from being a baby Range Rover, a junior product, to being right up there as a proper luxury SUV. Now I've turned things up to 11. We've activated dynamic mode in this car because yes, it's a Range Rover Sport. Whilst I've been banging on about the luxury and the quality and the serenity, it's a car that really can take a corner on or off-road. And here we are, okay fine, just on a dirt track, not a serious mud rut or I don't know what else we could be doing. So it's not that challenging, but the car is just fantastic. It's brilliant. And I think a lot of that is down to some very clever work that's been done around the air suspension. There's not so much roll, there's a whole load of comfort. We're barely feeling the bumps beneath us, and trust me, there are bumps. But then when we get back onto the tarmac, which we're going to do very shortly, it really means you can push what is quite a big and heavy car around. And this isn't even the really juicy one. There is the V8 Range Rover Sport, 4.4 litre V8. It's not an SVR. It's got a little bit more power, 530 compared to this at 510 with the combined, what would you call them? Power units. There we go. I love that phrase, F1 power unit. But anyway, here we go. We're coming to the end of this dirt track. And let's have some fun on the tarmac because we haven't done that much yet. I'm in sport on the gearbox setting, dynamic on the driver mode. This thing should come alive, even though we've actually depleted all of our battery charge. Doing that motorway section in EV mode wasn't ideal, but oh my god, that's pickup! 3 litre 6-cylinder, and I think it sounds good. I actually think it might sound better than the V8 that we experienced yesterday. Okay, that's inside. From the outside it's basically silent because of the various filters that we have to have here in Europe in the exhaust systems, but it's genuinely surprisingly engaging on a road like this. Would I want to be on a tight switchback in the Alps? No, probably not. When you've got long, flowy corners where you can keep the speed, the car is just really, really nice. And it doesn't necessarily lose its weight, but it just is reassuring. You don't think, oh my god, we're not going to stop for this corner, we're not going to turn into it. You can just demolish miles. And that's why I think they've got this car so right, because like I keep saying, I think most owners are just going to throw miles on this thing. It's a high mileage car, it's how people use them. And therefore you want it to be sort of good and capable in all situations, and that's what it is. It's just improved in every area. What was already a great and very desirable product is even better. Still not convinced by the way the rear looks, but I am getting used to it. And once I fall in love with the back of it, God, I think I'm going to want one of these. But here we go, little corner complex. Yeah, very few complaints with this car. And I'm now excited to be back out here, continuing to explore. Bring on the next 200 kilometers. I'll do it in a breeze, in ease, in comfort and speed and luxury. Now, I've obviously talked about this car off-road and out on the open highway, but people will also be using the new Range Rover Sport in the city. I've come to a tiny Spanish town with the narrowest streets to see what this car's manoeuvrability is like, because this is the first Range Rover Sport with rear wheel steering, so it should be easier to get around tight points. We have all those cameras, endless parking sensors, loads of sort of aids that should assist us through tiny places like this, but it's still a little nerve-wracking. I'm using every ounce of my ability and this car's ability to get through here, and I am gonna be honest with you, I'm really pooping myself. It's super intense. Now we've got kind of a gateway with a very smiley looking man. This will be the true test right now. Wow! Wow! Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I've got a lovely local that's going to come and help me. Bien! Okay. Wow. Muchas gracias. Muchas gracias. Okay. I mean, 5 stars Range Rover Sport. 5 stars. Well, this is a fairly outrageous lunch spot that the team have put on for us today. And actually, the kind of place that maybe future Range Rover Sport owners would end up, because one thing we haven't really touched on yet today is the price of the new Sport. It has gone up. It starts at like 80 grand. The P510e that we've been driving starts at around £108,000. Now, that is a lot of money, but let's not forget, well, cars in general are just more expensive than they used to be. Rivals, I think, are sort of similarly priced. I might be corrected there, but no matter what, as I think I've displayed throughout today's video, I personally see the increased value. For me, the new Sport feels way more special inside and as a thing than a BMW X5 45e. I don't even know what the equivalent would be, even over a Cayenne. Something about that Range Rover badge and brand, and then the new car's details that I just think feel expensive, and that's what you want when you're spending that kind of money. So whilst it might make you wince, I think we all just have to get used to the fact that inflation is a bit of a killer right now, and the cars that we really like, the really nice cars, are just more expensive than they've used to be. So hopefully one way or another we can all earn a bit more money, go out there and buy them, because bloody hell, what a morning it's been. Anyway, I'm going to sit here and enjoy this slightly breezy conditions and this incredible view.